Imagine a world where quantum computers don't just crunch numbers faster, they unlock the secrets of life itself, helping us understand how cells power up, fight diseases, and even design new microbes. That's the thrilling promise we're exploring right now, as Japanese researchers push the boundaries of biology and technology. But here's where it gets controversial. Is quantum computing really ready to revolutionize fields like medicine, or is this just hype that could lead to false hopes? Stick around, because this breakthrough might just change how we think about curing everything from Alzheimer's to infectious outbreaks. And this is the part most people miss. These early steps could pave the way for tackling biological puzzles that classical computers simply can't handle. A team from Japan has revealed that a quantum algorithm can tackle a fundamental challenge in metabolic modeling, representing one of the first real-world applications of quantum computing to biological processes. Their work hints at how advanced computers might soon address intricate questions about cell function and behavior, potentially speeding up simulations that are currently bogged down by traditional methods. Published on the Bioarxiv preprint server at https://www.beer14.org/content/10.10.10901/2025.10.265.10.2v1.full.pdf, the scientists from Keio University modified a mathematical optimization technique commonly employed to forecast how cells consume nutrients and produce energy, for use on quantum hardware. This adaptation involves applying quantum interior point methods to flux balance analysis. To make this clearer for beginners, think of flux balance analysis as a way to model a cell's metabolism like a busy city's traffic system. Instead of following every single vehicle in detail, we look at the overall flow of resources through key pathways, ensuring everything balances out without bottlenecks. The quantum version could help visualize how a cell allocates its energy and materials more efficiently. By demonstrating this, the team points to a pathway for quantum computers to handle a category of problems that are likely to become too complex for classical machines as models grow to encompass entire cells or groups of microorganisms. Their experiments confirm that this quantum approach successfully identified the right answers for a test scenario involving glycolysis, the process where cells break down glucose for energy, and the tricarboxylic acid cycle, a central loop in energy production, both critical for cellular metabolism. Although conducted on a simulator rather than actual quantum equipment, the simulation mirrored the design of quantum devices anticipated in the early stages of fault-tolerant computing. This achievement adds another discipline to the list of areas where quantum acceleration could make a difference once the technology matures. It also supports the budding field of quantum computational biology, which has sparked considerable excitement but so far has few complete examples of algorithms in action. But here's the controversy. Critics might argue that touting quantum solutions for biology is premature, potentially distracting from refining classical methods that are already quite powerful. What do you think? Should we invest heavily in quantum for biology now, or wait for more concrete gains? Share your views in the comments. A computational hurdle in biological science. Flux balance analysis is a staple in systems biology, used to gauge how cells transport substances through metabolic pathways. Rather than detailing every chemical reaction individually, it views the cell as an interconnected web of reactions governed by mass conservation principles. The aim is to discover a set of reaction speeds, called fluxes, that meet these rules while optimizing a biological goal, such as maximizing growth, ADP, the cell's energy currency, generation, or nutrient absorption. For newcomers, picture it as optimizing a factory's production line. You want to maximize output without wasting resources or violating physical limits. Traditional computational tools manage flux balance analysis well for smaller networks. However, when models scale up to incorporate thousands of reactions, typical for full genome models, or transition from static snapshots to time-varying simulations, the processing needs skyrocket. These bigger challenges involve repeatedly solving massive systems of linear equations, which can exceed the power of today's computers. This is the computational bottleneck that's holding back deeper insights into biology. The researchers propose that quantum machines could excel in these bigger scenarios by processing high-dimensional data more effectively. Their study employs quantum singular value transformation, a method to build a quantum circuit that approximates the inverse of a matrix, a step that's usually the slowest in interior point methods, the optimization family behind flux balance analysis. For example, inverting a matrix in this context is like reversing a puzzle. If the matrix represents the relationships in a biological system, inverting it helps trace back causes from effects, speeding up solutions. In their experiment, the team transformed the metabolic model into a quantum-compatible format, encoded the inputs as quantum states, and executed a quantum procedure that respects the biological constraints. They verified that the quantum technique arrived at the same outcomes as classical computations on a simplified yet relevant biological network. This proof of concept illustrates how the algorithm navigates the central path, the optimal route and optimization problems that interior point methods typically follow. Details on how the quantum technique operates. Interior point methods address linear optimization by iteratively traversing the interior of a constrained geometric space until hitting the best boundary point. Each iteration solves an equation set that blends the problem structure with a barrier element to keep solutions valid. To adapt this for quantum systems, the study uses block encoding, a way to nest a matrix. Imagine it as a vast grid summarizing the biological setup within a bigger quantum operation so the computer can process it, and applies polynomial adjustments for inversion. Essentially, inversion flips the matrix to reveal underlying factors. The team also applies a null space projection to lower the matrix's condition number, a metric for inversion stability and precision that often balloons near optimal solutions. This reduction enhances the reliability of quantum solvers. The simulation ran on just 6 qubits, thanks to the shrunken matrix post-projection. They tested it with precise state vector simulation, yielding perfect results not yet possible on real devices. Nonetheless, the involved steps, preparing states, block encoding, and transformations, are within reach for initial fault-tolerant machines. Potential impacts on biological investigations. Should quantum technology advance to handle extensive, reliable versions of this method, metabolic modeling could emerge as an early biological success story. Think of genome-wide networks, multi-organism microbial ecosystems, or time-evolving systems with differential equations, all dealing with enormous, sparse matrices. These are vital for pinpointing metabolic choke points, crafting engineered bacteria, studying illnesses, or modeling reactions to environmental shifts. Classical approaches work for many tasks but falter with exponential increases in model complexity, time detail, or variables. The real quantum edge, per the study, emerges when ditching static assumptions for dynamic models where concentrations fluctuate. Dynamic flux balance analysis, which might need hundreds of sequential optimizations, can become unmanageable classically. Moreover, in microbiome studies, where multiple microbes interact via signals and nutrients, quantum methods could lighten the load of vastly expanded networks. Each added species multiplies the challenge, making acceleration appealing. Experts envision quantum tools enabling broader exploration of metabolic possibilities, discovering alternative routes, mimicking regulatory shifts, or detecting out flux patterns that signal diseases or bioengineering chances. Practically speaking, though in its infancy, these techniques might one day manage complete biological networks, aiding discoveries for treatments against cancer, Alzheimer's, and infections. For instance, imagine accelerating the design of microbes that produce biofuels or pharmaceuticals, or simulating how a patient's gut bacteria respond to diet changes. Yet this is the part most people miss. While promising, quantum biology could face skepticism. Is the hype around quantum computing in medicine overshadowing ethical concerns, like equitable access to such advanced tools? And will the energy demands of quantum machines offset environmental gains from better biological modeling? We'd love to hear your take. Do you see quantum biology as a game changer, or just another overhyped frontier? Drop your thoughts below and let's discuss. Drawbacks of this initial research. The study openly addresses ongoing obstacles. The test model was tiny, dwarfed by actual genome-level systems. Algorithm efficiency hinges on matrix condition numbers, which could soar in bigger models. Despite null space projections, these numbers might